What's going on, everyone? So it looks like I'll be making three videos today. I saw one about MBG on Astro's page saying that Xbox is dead again, all that type of stuff, and that this is kind of more about the fear of Sony losing people to PC players, which I kind of find interesting. And he doesn't think that's that much of a big deal, and that if the Xbox console does launch, it's not going to do much for Microsoft, which I disagree with, and that Sony's not really worried about people losing players, obviously, of course, as well too. But what I find interesting is him not realizing that if Microsoft does do that, there's going to be people that do want to support that are on PC and even on PlayStation and on Nintendo, just because it's just a great deal. So let's get into this. Let me know what y'all think, and here we go.
I think people are not paying close enough attention to the fact that look at the Xbox Series X and S right now.
That's right now.
Look at what's happening to these consoles. They're dead, bro. Like they're not selling anymore. It's just
It's still fine in the NA, but I know what he means by Europe, the slump that happened in Europe. But this is just what's going on right now. Just like when people would say there was no games, but now it's the exact opposite, and I'm looking for something else to narrate on. But like I said, um, if they get those consoles going right, the innovative Steam hybrid, which we're pretty sure that's going to happen, it will sell a good amount.
down. It's in the gutter. And Microsoft could announce Steam is available on the Xbox Series X tomorrow and it's not saving that console. I would argue it probably won't do that much. It might boost sales temporarily for a little bit, but it's not saving those consoles. I just think people need to kind of realize that the Xbox console is done. It's just done, dude. And
That way for right now, yeah, it's not. There's no miracle that's going to make it I'd sell like 20 to 30 million. You know what I mean? And start like doing something crazy. So it would be stupid to waste the Steam opportunity right now. But that couldn't be possible at the moment because they're trying to unify the operating system, and it starts with the handheld. So it would be the right thing to do when you have a huge momentum going again with another launch or something down the line. Like it's just nice to get that integrated right now, but it's not set in stone that the future console that's coming out is going to be just like that and have the same like aspects. That's the only negative that I could say did happen this generation is that they didn't sell as much as I wanted them to. I was thinking with the series, you could have at least sold 50 million or something. You know what I mean? And yeah, that is a little bit disappointing, but the benefits to come from all the other aspects of gaming, which we actually participate in, because after you get the hardware, it's like, what am I going to be doing with it? The games that you provided me, the benefits that you provided me, the Game Pass perks, the Game Pass games, and the turnaround that you made is absolutely amazing to be able to look good in the next decade or two. It's not about, oh, this is what happened here, and let's just stay on this for the rest of our life. It's like, bro, it's not set in stone. We need to see how this is fully going to play out in the future. What is the future of where gaming is going, which we know a huge part of that is digital streaming cloud, right? And having a service in the future with the same controller and same TV, and everything being able to be streamed eventually because the internet just and the services are just going to be that good, and it kind of is in a sense already, but they just need to get that available for everyone. And what are you going to be providing me as far as games are? And they're actually set up for the right thing in the future. This whole narrative of trying to make it look negative right now because they're only looking at hardware, like it's getting outdated now, and people just need to like move on from that because it feels like you're just still trying to spend that 360 early Xbox One narrative, and the market is changing big time in that aspect about what's important, what's competitive, and how can we make the most money. Even Sony's struggling with that big time because hardware doesn't make money. So I get what you're saying, but once again, there's a lot more facets to look at.
and Sony knows this. So I don't think Sony's going to see what Microsoft is apparently preparing to do next generation as a threat. They're just
They have to though. I mean, that you have to do that. There's no way. Like there wouldn't be some of these responses about the Steam being able to be on Xbox with all the PS5 games and PS4 games too. We have to include that because those are there as well, and that Sony just going to be like whatever. I don't think so. But I think they should care less. But like I said, if they didn't care that much, then they would just put their games on Xbox, but they still haven't done that. So the fact that they would have to spend no effort doing that and still be able to have Xbox players do that, I think that would be easier on them because they're not spending any resources trying to make ports in time. It's right there on Steam for Microsoft users to purchase if that's the case and if that's how it's going to play out.
Just going to see it as another vector. Just they're going to basically what I'm saying is they're going to treat the next Xbox as like a Steam Deck. Notice how Sony doesn't go.
No, no way, because that the next Xbox will sell way more than that. Now that right there is kind of like a downplay. Like I can't agree with that because that's a handheld only supplementary device. It's not launching with any first party games or any of that. No.
Go after Steam Deck. Notice how Sony doesn't care if their game is playable on Steam Deck. They do not care. It's going to be treated the same exact way.
Then it would have to only sell like 4 million consoles in like a couple years. There's no way that's going to happen. Steam Deck doesn't have any like first party power to like be put on the market and say, here's all these games you can't get somewhere else. You know what I mean? It's like it's not really like that. It didn't Valve didn't design games around for it. You know what I mean? It's just something that was kind of just released on the side, and most PC players are not going to go for that. They'd rather have a laptop. I'm just saying, if that was the case, then it would have sold 15 to 20 million at least, something like that. You know what I mean? But it didn't. So I don't think people should make an excuse for that either. It's more like, but it didn't do anything. You know what I mean? It was okay for people who owned it, and they may like those experiences, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just like people enjoyed the Dreamcast, and I only sold 2 million. It's one of my favorite consoles of all time. I still have mine in all my games. But Sony did everything they could to make sure it got taken out, and they were only left on the market. And Microsoft came in as a replacement. Just because you're selling less doesn't mean they're going to stop being as cruel as a competitor. No, 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 no. I don't think so. I think they're going to try to attack them at every angle as possible, and they just will continue to do that. It's just how it is. I'd be more worried about how they're going to screw you over as a consumer compared to them worrying about Microsoft trying out a company. It's what they've been doing to you guys.
You'll literally be able to play all games MBG. It's not done. But Luke, what I'm trying to explain to you right now is that option already exists right now.
Not as a
You see what I'm
console.
saying? Like
My problem with that is that it doesn't exist as a pick up and play experience without any of the PC issues that people don't want to deal with. And that if you wanted to get that type of experience to play your PlayStation 5 games at high settings, how much money do you think you have to spend on a PC like that? If you're going to be able to get that Xbox Series X deal again with that hybrid console for that price, where it's that close to like a PC, with like if we think about it in the future, what if it's something like a 4070 Ti, right? That can match something like that. That's a pretty serious deal for like 600 bucks if they want to charge that much for the console, or even 700. And then like if I want to build a PC like that in the future, maybe spending like 14, 15, $1,600, right? You know what I mean? Like it's things like that you want to look at, like to where it's like this is what makes it exciting, and I could just pick it up and play it. You see what I'm saying? So I think if you offer that type of deal, people that want to upgrade their current PC at the moment will take that. And then PC users in general will want to support that. And there's going to be people who still support Xbox that are going to want to support that. There's going to be people who have handhelds that are going to want to support that. There's going to be some people on PlayStation that are going to want to support that. So I don't think that it should be looked at lightly. I think that this is a potential that could probably at least move 40 to 50 million consoles for Microsoft next gen. If they can do that, that would be a huge success on top of the amount of publishing power that they've already done, and they had to monopolize for. And then all the games that they have, because of how much better they are right now in all those other categories, if they could still be able to move and get the sales that they wanted for the Series S and X on that, while having all that strong power in all the other categories, that is something to be worried about. Because they'll still be able to sell consoles, and 40 to 50 million is still good. Like that would be good. And then be able to have that strong portfolio in the future to where when it does become about digital streaming and cloud, when it does become about turning on this one TV or one streaming service that can uh, get Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox that you choose from, and you just have a way better library than Sony. because you made all the right moves a long time ago, like 10 years before that happens from now, or 15 or whatever, then what are you guys going to be saying now? And that Call of Duty deal is not up for grabs after 10 years. Like, you kind of see where I'm going with it. Like, it makes you think about these are the Netflix services that are in front of me now in the future in a gaming sense with the controller. I'd be worried about that. That's why I say that if anybody's going to be in trouble down the line when hardware is no longer selling like that, it's going to be Sony. Nintendo's already god tier in development, and they've been doing that their whole life. They're the last ones to surrender. You know what I mean? Sony is not like, oh, here's 10 games in 1 year from PlayStation Studios or 8 to 7. Get on my service. You know what I mean? If they wanted to do that, they need to worry about their in house. They need to worry about games, pro consumer, like, if people want to sign up for their service, right? Because it's not going to be hardware in the future. So that's what you should be thinking about too, because it's like, how is the end game for all of this? How are we looking down the line? And I think that's where Microsoft is putting themselves in place at. And because they have the most money, they can do that. But as of right now, yeah, of course the Xbox hardware is looking. Everybody knows that. That's not something that needs to be pointed out when the whole world knows it. But it kind of seems like the only thing you guys want to talk about, because when you look at the other sections, PlayStation's not doing so well there. And we should be a little bit more honest and focus on that. And that's why I do it a lot, because it's like you guys are not doing it. And you should.
What you're describing is available right now for you and me. Right now, we can both go to PC gaming and have that option available right now. I can buy well, I already have a PC. I could take my PC, hook it up in my living room TV, and just connect a controller, and I can boot up Steam, and I can play any PlayStation game on Steam. I can play any Steam game. I can play any Xbox game. Like, that option already exists right now. It may be.
But to be able to do it on a high end spectrum, not a lot of people have that type of money when they get hammered every day with food prices and all the other stuff that's going on in this world. So that's why I say that a prepackaged pick up and play console experience like that, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want that. You can't fit all gamers into one category. There is going to be a good amount that would be interested in that, even so, like for sure. So we got to see how it plays out first too, and get more answers about, is this going to be a PC themed, kind of like the Xbox Asus handheld, or is it going to be a console theme? But we did get a inside peek at that when we saw that screenshot on the Xbox everywhere thing, where you saw that Steam tab there. That was on the Xbox operating system. See what I'm saying? So yeah, whether that was on the handheld or not, we need to see, because that right there, it says a lot. Wasn't a PC interface, I know that for sure.
The only thing that's missing is the convenience factor, but that convenience factor is in no way, shape, or form going to be enough to just suddenly convince tens of millions of people to be like, oh, okay. It's not going to work that way.
It's all about timing with that type of stuff.
The 30 million plus Xbox owners would disagree with you, I'd imagine. Well, we also have to understand that of those 30 million Xboxes that are sold, a good portion of them probably did move to PC in the last year or two.
And they're going to support that Xbox. And a lot of PC players that did not, and even then are looking at it, are going to support that. I'm telling you, there's going to be some people on PlayStation that want to support that. There's going to be people that have a Steam Deck and all that, they're going to want to support that. It's about what you can get as a value as a gamer. It's not necessarily looking at it because it's Xbox or whatever. And I'm telling you right now, that thing is a very, very, very valuable proposition and very tempting.
Or are planning to move to PC. And I do understand why it's like, well, wouldn't that Xbox PC hybrid be more appealing to them? But it's like, well, I guess, but they probably would just think to themselves, well, why wait? Just go now. I mean, what about the 30 million Xbox consoles that are sold already? How many millions of those players, once they they're finding out that like, wait, Forza's coming to PlayStation, and they're hearing reports that the next Halo is coming to PlayStation, and next.
But you could have already played that experience. It's been available everywhere on all Xboxes and all PC. Kind of just throwing this logic back at them. You know what I mean? It's like there are some people that want to experience things on a certain console. There's people that want to experience that experience with the next gen Xbox. And there's going to be millions of people, just like those millions of people in the PlayStation community that don't want to move. And that's the smart thing about mixing the Xbox with the PC, like Microsoft did, is that when they do drop something like that, you can get a pull from both of those communities for that because you're appealing to both of them. Microsoft is smarter at appealing to the PC community than Sony. Sony doesn't have a damn clue when it comes to that in the right manner like Microsoft does. I'll have to give them credit for that, and that's actually good.
Gears of War, like, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they just, you know, how many of them are just like, okay, I'll just go to PlayStation then? I can see, it's like it kind of goes both ways. Where's Boss at? I don't know where he's at.
But you guys get what I mean about this. Again, once again, this is something else to kind of highlight about a certain situation. I'm not coming to attack him. I'm just saying, look, let's just broaden this with some more sunlight. That's my perspective on this. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. All right, y'all. Peace out. We're looking forward to this. This thing sounds like it could be one of the best consoles ever. I hope for it. Right? This and the Switch 2 are going to do wonders. And we're going to see what the PS6 is going to do too. I'm excited for all of it. You know what I mean? Just as a gamer, I've always want to see gaming and being taken to the next level. Let's see what happens. All right. Later, y'all. Have a great day, night, evening, morning, wherever you're at around the world.